Arkansas's most watched sports show, Hooten's Arkansas Football.
Hello and welcome to Hooten's Arkansas Football tonight from the Marketplace Grill. I'm Chad Hooten and we're glad you've tuned in for hard-hitting high school football highlights. In the next 30 minutes, we'll show you highlights from the third week of the high school football season, and a little bit later, we'll tell you about some great food here at Marketplace. It's one of our favorite places to eat before or after the game, and we're going to talk about their prime rib, talk about a pregame meal at Marketplace. We'll do that in a little bit, but we got to get started with football now. From Class 5A, the number one team in the state is the Springdale Bulldogs. They played host to the best team out of Oklahoma on Friday night, and that's where we'll begin. Our Class 5A highlights are brought to you by First Security Bank.
Springdale playing host to Jinx from over around Tulsa. Quarterback Mitch Mustang threw 4 touchdown passes to Damian Williams, and the Bulldogs added a safety to go up 30-0 at halftime. They invoked the mercy rule early in the third quarter and cruised to a 44-point win over the best team out of Oklahoma. Final score, Springdale 44, Jinx 0. From Springdale to War Memorial Stadium now for a top 10 matchup. The Catholic Rockets trying to slow down number 2 Northside. The Rockets on fire with their first drive. Lenoris Dukes eludes 3 tackles, gets to the 10. The Rockets would score 3 plays later. But then Cody Burns, the junior standout from Northside, goes to work. First he buys time in the pocket, a 31-yard strike to Godfrey Wilson. Then Burns will do it himself with 2 quarterback draws. He finished with 131 yards on the night. He was named by Sports Illustrated as the junior to watch in America. Don't forget that name, Cody Burns. But the Grizzlies trailed 7-6 in the second quarter. That didn't last long though. Sophomore Trey Jones dives in from 3 yards out. That puts the Grizzlies up 12-7. It was 19-7 at halftime, but Catholic ripped off 20 unanswered points in the second half, and the Grizzlies missed 3 critical extra points. Final score, Catholic 27, Northside 25. From Catholic up to Cabot now, the Panthers playing host to 2-time defending 5A state champion Little Rock Central, and both teams looking for their first win of the year. In the second quarter, no score, but Tigers at the goal line. Alex Blake pitches to Jamel Hawkins. He goes right up the side for a 6-yard score. Central on the board. Now it's about 2.5 minutes left before the half. Central's back, and Hawkins punches it in from 9 yards out this time. Central was up 14-0 at halftime. Cabot scored late to avoid the shutout. Final score, Little Rock Central 21, Cabot 7. At Little Rock McClellan, the Crimson Lions kicked an early field goal for a 3-0 lead on undefeated Little Rock Mills, but the Comets came storming back. That's Leonard King with a short touchdown run. Mills was up 8-3. McClellan responded though. Joseph Cogshell plows into the end zone to cap a touchdown drive. That put McClellan back up 9-8, but that was McClellan's final lead of the night as Mills comes up with a big second half rally for the second straight week, and the Comets remain undefeated. Final score, Mills 22, McClellan 9. North Little Rock and Sylvan Hills both searching for wins after humbling losses a week ago. This one was a turnover fest. Sylvan Hills up 14-7, throwing for the end zone. DeMarcus Ingram pulls down the interception. The Charging Wildcats give it right back. Hayden Miller back deep and covered with the leaping interception for Sylvan Hills. But the Bears were forced to punt, and guess what? Another miscue. Sylvan Hills this time on the punt. It hits the Charging Wildcats, and Sylvan Hills will recover, but the Bears couldn't punch it in or take advantage of the mistakes. This makes me hurt. Let's get out of the highlights. Final score, North Little Rock 23, Sylvan Hills 14. Back up to Northwest Arkansas now. Fayetteville, a top 5 team, playing host to Pine Bluff, and the Purple Dogs ran right at the Zebras all night. Brent Phillips, number 34, 126 yards on the night, and Fayetteville intercepted 3 Pine Bluff passes in the second quarter, including this one by Kenny Stockhopper. Final score, Purple Dog 42, Pine Bluff 14. Here are your Class 5A rankings. Springdale undisputed number 1. Coach Malzahn knew he could score points, but didn't know the Bulldogs would shut out the best team in Oklahoma. Ben Cleveland and Aaron Finch, the 2 defensive ends for the Bulldogs, had a monster game for the number 1 team. West Memphis, which has finished state runner-up the last 2 years, just gets by West Helena out of Class 4A and moves up to number 2, and Fayetteville moves up to number 3. Northside's down to number 4 after their loss at Catholic. Benton and Watson Chapel were the only 2 teams from the South to win on Friday night. North Little Rock starts the second 5. There's Catholic, but don't call the Rockets Cinderella. Remember, the Rockets started the season ranked number 9 at Hooten's Arkansas football. Southside just smoked Texarkana out of the South. Russellville has lost one and tied one. They dropped to number 9. Bryant was not good enough to beat Russellville or Benton, but they did play those 2 top 10 teams very close. Coach Barry Lunny's Bentonville Tigers start the second 10. Conway, as expected, had no trouble at Searcy. Camden Fairview lost to Class 4A Magnolia. There's Jonesboro and Jacksonville dropping down to number 15. Rogers lost to Class 4A Morrilton. Little Rock Central got its first win. Van Buren lost to Mountain Home. And it's Lake Hamilton and winless Cabot. Sylvan Hills drops to 21. Hooten's Arkansas football picks Pine Bluff to lose by 28 at Fayetteville. That's exactly what they did, 42-14. Little Rock McClellan lost to Class 4A Mills, and the Crimson Lions are at 23. Then it's Texarkana and Forest City, which lost big to Class 3A Osceola. Coming up next, more of Hooten's Arkansas football Class 4A highlights are next.
Now, more of Hooten's Arkansas football, brought to you by Sonic.
Our Class 4A coverage starts at defending state champion Wynn. The Yellow Jackets lost at Class 3A Dollarway last year, and they trailed the Cardinals 14-0 early in the third quarter on Friday night when junior fullback Lee Harris hammers in from the 2. That cut Dollarway's lead to 14-7. Now, in the fourth quarter, Wynn in need of a big play. Senior quarterback Bo Glenn pulls up, and he used the football downfield, but Dollarway's senior safety Bobby Miller gets there before the ball, and that's pass interference. 3 plays later, Glenn will dart 19 yards for the tying touchdown. It's 14-14, Wynn and Dollarway. Both teams lost a fumble in the final minutes, and neither one would win or lose. This one, final score, Wynn 14, Dollarway 14.
Well, I think the half of us didn't even show up in the first half. Some guys came out there, we played and stuff. We had a lot of errors, and we made a lot of mistakes in the first half. But we came out second half, and we showed what we had.
Hey, listen to this. Played the toughest non-conference schedule in AAA football, and we ain't been beat yet. Am I right? Yeah, ain't been beat yet.
At Greenbrier, the Panthers trailed Class 3A Dumas by a touchdown at halftime, but the Bobcats missed on this punt early in the third quarter. Greenbrier's Aaron McNeil recovers, and from then on it would be all Panthers. Quarterback Nick Maxfield, a 3-year starter at Greenbrier, comes right around the end for the touchdown, and momentum is now on Greenbrier's side. A little bit later, early in the fourth quarter, Maxfield will throw over the middle to Cody Moody. That puts the Panthers up by 8. And can you believe this final score? After trailing by a touchdown at halftime, Greenbrier 41, Dumas 13. Top-ranked Greenwood was at Bentonville, and the Tigers quarterback Ryan Isabel completed 26 passes for 300 yards. He also ran for a 16-yard touchdown in the final moments. Final score, Bentonville 28, Greenwood 27. And here's a look at Hooten's Arkansas football updated Class 4A rankings. Greenwood holds on to the top spot. They missed an extra point and lost by 1 at Class 5A Bentonville, but we keep the Bulldogs at the top. Wynn is number 2. The Yellow Jackets could not get by Class 3A Dollarway for the second straight year. Alma scored 10 points in the second half to pull out a 7-point win at Poto, Oklahoma. Batesville strong at number 4, and Stuttgart is 5. Then it's Siloam Springs. They won all their non-conference games up at Siloam for the second year in a row. They're 3-0 headed into conference play. Then it's Robinson, Morrilton, and Magnolia. The Panthers pulled out a 4-point win over Camden Fairview and will play host to Robinson next week for the 4A Southwest title. Mills starts the second 10. The Comets are undefeated with all 3 wins coming over Class 5A teams. Bologna has won back-to-back games after losing to CAC in the Kickoff Classic. Blytheville has won their last 2 after switching from the spread offense to the wing T. Hope put the mercy rule on rival Prescott Friday night. Fair is number 16. Whitehall is number 17. The Bulldogs took a bite out of previously undefeated Sheridan on Friday night. Then it's BB, Crossett, Oak Grove, Harrison at number 21, followed by the Billies and West Helena. The Cougars drop a spot after losing by 7 points to West Memphis. Greenbrier has beat Class 3A teams the last 2 weeks, and Paragould rounds out the top 25. Coming up next, more hard-hitting high school highlights. Class 3A is next.
Now, more of Hooten's Arkansas football, brought to you by Big Red Fina.
Defending Class 3A champion Central Arkansas Christian playing host to talented Hamburg. The Mustangs found themselves another quarterback. This one's Drew Stringfellow, and he finds Joseph Chandler for the Mustangs at 7-0 CAC. But the Lions roar back. 3-year starting quarterback Ben Johnson and tough running back Chris Diggs doing the work. Diggs finished with almost 150 yards. He scored this early touchdown that made it 7-7, but the Mustangs stay undefeated, outscoring Hamburg the rest of the way. Final score, CAC 44, Hamburg 19.
We got a lot to prove, man. A lot to prove, defense. We came out week 1. Everybody was on our Shiloh bandwagon. Last week, we dropped off the radar screen. You got to make a statement tonight, defense.
Shiloh coach Josh Floyd challenging his defense to step up and stop the Atkins Red Devils in a rematch of last year's second-round playoff game. Shiloh won that one, but Atkins came out Friday night and ran right over the same defense. Brandon Dodd around the near side and down at our feet. Then it's Terrence Sweet T. Bobo. His uncle is the former Razorback Donnie Bobo. Bobo's run would lead to a 4th and goal from the 2. Atkins is going for it, and it's Bobo in the end zone. Atkins 7, Shiloh zip. The Saints would respond. Standout junior quarterback Matt Simpson going deep to Crosby Tuck. He wrestles in the catch. Shiloh's in business. That would set up David Ingram's touchdown run, and the score was tied at 7. No problem, though. Atkins' offense comes right back, creating running lanes again for Bobo. He scores his 2nd touchdown of the night, and Atkins would seal this game with a 99-yard drive in the 4th quarter. Final score, Atkins 42, Shiloh Christian 21. From the River Valley to Tomato Town for our Class 3A Game of the Week, number 5 Warren playing host to number 2 Pulaski Academy. The Bruins were impressive a week ago, dominating Class 4A Morrilton, but it was the young Warren Lumberjacks doing the dominating Friday night. Warren held Pulaski Academy to just 17 yards rushing and sacked the Bruins quarterback Stephen Lux 5 times. By halftime, Warren was up 32-0. But Pulaski Academy showed a spark on its opening drive of the second half. The juniors Lux and Brian Langford hook up for a nice gain, and on 4th down, deep in Lumberjack territory, Lux finds Ted Womble, but Jarius Wright nails him just short of the first down. Wright is one of 7 talented sophomores that Coach Bo Embry starts on that Warren defense. It didn't take long for Warren's offense to capitalize either. Deontay Jackson reverses his field, gets loose, and the senior finished the night with 77 yards on 8 carries. On the next play, sophomore again, Wright doing it on both sides of the ball. He scored 3 touchdowns Friday night for Warren. Now, fast forward to the 4th quarter. A new quarterback's in there. This is a sophomore, Matt Pace. Same result, though. Classmate Cody Broughton running through some arm tackles. He's gone. 64 yards for the score. Warren racked up 224 yards rushing on the night and knocks off number 2 Pulaski Academy. New number 2 Dollarway, you're next. Final score, Warren 46, Pulaski Academy 0.
I mean, I just got behind my blockers and followed my line, and my receivers out there blocking.
Dollarway Cardinals are coming to town. You know, they're going to be a different type football team. They're a smash mouth football team, and you know, we've always had trouble with smash mouth people.
And here's Hooten's Arkansas football updated Class 3A rankings. Booneville stays on top. They led previously undefeated Clarksville 35-0 at halftime on Friday. Dollarway moves up a spot after battling Class 4A win to that 14-14 tie. Warren's defense hasn't allowed a point the past 2 games, and the Lumberjacks move up 2 spots to number 3. Then it's Osceola and PA dropping to 5. Ashdown is 6. Then it's CAC. The defending state champs are 3-0 and will play host to Bauxite next week. Nashville beat Arkadelphia by 32 on Friday. Atkins is back in the top 10 after running over Shiloh Christian. Harrisburg starts the second 10. The Hornets are 3-0 and have won their past 2 games on the road. Prairie Grove will play host to Shiloh Christian in 2 weeks. After the Tigers, it's the Redskins, Green Forest, and Hamburg. Bauxite is undefeated and looking forward to the CAC Challenge next week. There's Mena and Lone Oak. The Jackrabbits picked up their first win of the season by beating North Pulaski Friday night. Newport is talented but still winless. They played one of the tougher schedules in the state. Farmington's number 20, then it's the Owls and Clinton. The Yellow Jackets are undefeated and begin 5 AAA play against Clarksville next week. The Fordyce Redbugs have lost 3 games by a total of 12 points. Highland moves into the top 25 for the first time in 5 years, and Paris rounds out the top 25.
Now, more of Hooten's Arkansas football, brought to you by First Security Bancorp.
haven't lost in 17 straight ball games, ranked number 1 in the state of Arkansas. Here's your opportunity. This is your opportunity. They put the pants on the same way you do. You play fast, you be physical, and you play as one. 100% every play. You play fast.
Bearden's first-year coach, Vince Perrin, reminding his Bears of Rison's recent success. Of course, the top-ranked Wildcats have won 36 straight regular season games, but Bearden showed no signs of intimidation early Friday night on the road as Bear lineman Juan Hernandez introducing the Wildcats to the sideline on the opening kickoff. A few plays later, Rison's Arthur Ballard tries to get to the corner, but P.J. Chavers and Dwayne Watts send him skyward. Check that out again. That's not good when the first thing to hit the turf is the back of your head. Ballard popped right back up and Rison quarterback Blake Jackson took over. The senior has quickly developed into a playmaker just 3 games into the season, and he put Rison on the board first. With the sweet scramble, Rison would miss the extra point, and all of its extra point tries Friday night. It was 6-0. Bearden is spreading it out this year, and it showed it can move the ball on the defensive-minded Rison Wildcats. As Watts again finding a seam, the Bears were in Rison territory twice in the first quarter, but penalties killed both Bearden drives. Even though the Bears put up a fight, number 1 Rison pulled away. Final score, Wildcats 18, Bearden 6. Down the road from Rison, we head for Woodlawn, who played host to the Fountain Panthers. There's a lot of excitement surrounding the Woodlawn Bears, who finished at 500 a year ago. They got a new coach, and they're looking for more in 2005. It's scoreless early in the second quarter, but Woodlawn is on the move. Dusty Williams hands off to Cody Slater. He gets some great blocks and gives the Bears the lead. A little bit later, Woodlawn was threatening again, and Fout needed to stop. They get it. The Panthers strip the ball. Senior linebacker Cassidy Cutshall pounces on it, and here comes Fout. Junior quarterback Cody Sutton getting loose deep inside Woodlawn territory. The Panthers failed to punch it in, though, before the half, but they did score twice in the second half and edge Woodlawn. Final score, Fountain 14, Woodlawn 13. Before the sun sets on our Class 2A highlights, we travel to the Delta, where the Earl Bulldogs played host to Mark Tree.
Remember all the things we talked about all week, okay? Remember what we talked about. The 2 or 3 things that we've got to do to win the football game, okay? No turnovers, hug the football backs, no penalties. Don't get us in those long yardage situations, okay? And what's the most important thing? Don't fumble. Yeah, but what's the most important thing? Come hit them in the mouth. Right here, come hit them in the mouth. Let's go.
Lay down. Earl coach Maurice Moody and his Bulldogs were fresh off a big win over East Poinsett County and in the mood for a Friday night fight. But Mark Tree's defense jabbed Earl's single wing early. His defensive tackle Patrick Powell throws Eric Cox for a loss. On the next play, Earl's quarterback Stephen Merida throws deep over the middle, but the pass is picked off. Trevion Powell for Mark Tree. Trevion makes a nice return, but that would not be his biggest play of the night. Just hang on. Right now, though, we're headed to the second quarter. Mark Tree goes on the march with Patrick Powell crossing into Earl territory. Then junior Bryant Coleman, who had 77 yards on the night, gets another first down to the Earl 22. Then it's Patrick Powell again, ripping off 20 of his 117 yards. That gave the Indians a first and goal at the 2, and Mark Tree's junior quarterback, William Ruthman, punches it in. Mark Tree was up 6-0. Earl comes right back, though, covering 41 yards in a hurry. Quarterback Stephen Meredith picking up big chunks of real estate. Then Earl's sophomore quarterback caps the drive, and Earl led 8-6 at halftime. But Mark Tree would shut out Earl in the second half, and remember Trevion Powell? He ran for the winning touchdown with about a minute left. Final score, Mark Tree 14, Earl 8. Week 3 brings more stability in Class 2A. No changes in Hooten's Arkansas football top 10. Rison was not as dominating in non-conference play as a year ago, but the Wildcats are 3-0 and should ease their way through the AAA. Junction City rarely throws the ball, but the Dragons completed 2 touchdown passes in holding off Gurdon 39-29. Charleston, Harding Academy, and Jessieville all won convincingly. Number 6 Perryville handed Arkansas Baptist its 3rd straight loss, 34-6 Perryville over Baptist. Hughes is undefeated and headed to Harding Academy next week for a top 10 shootout. Hooten's TV cameras plan on being there. Hector, Desark, and Mount Ida rode to easy wins. Danville stays at number 11 after getting past a pretty good Magnet Cove team, 25-12. Harmony Grove took down Class 3A Fountain Lake by 2 touchdowns. Greenland moves up a notch after destroying 3A rival and neighbor Elkins, 48-0. They're Gurdon and Eudora. Number 17 Derricks knocked off Class 3A Glen Rose, which had manhandled Mayflower just a week ago. Mark Tree moves up 8 spots to number 20. The Indians should make a run at the 3AA title after missing the playoffs the past 2 years. Earl, Bearden, Magnet Cove, EPC, and Cross County round out the top 25.
Now, the ConocoPhillips Spirit Student of the Week.
Rising senior Monica Mayfield is a leader in the classroom, and she understands the importance of extracurricular activities, such as serving as the cheer captain and as a member of the Beta Club.
I have to work really hard to do it. It's a lot of work, definitely. I know I have to maintain a high GPA to stay involved in my other activities.
She's also a huge Wildcat football fan and has a lot to cheer about at Rising.
About Friday nights, I like listen to the band. The band gets the boys all pumped up, and I like to watch the game. I just like football anyways. The state championship game was excellent. Most fun I've ever had.
Nominations for the ConocoPhillips Spirit Student of the Week are welcomed and can be made by logging on to Hootens.com or by stopping in ConocoPhillips stations of Arkansas.
And congratulations to Monica Mayfield, our Conoco and Phillips 66 Spirit Student of the Week. Be sure to get your nomination forms in, because at the end of the year, we'll be naming a Spirit Student of the Year, and the winner gets a $2,000 scholarship. So get by a Conoco or Phillips 66 location and get your nomination. And welcome back to Hooten's Arkansas Football tonight from the Marketplace Grill. Before we go, I want to tell you about the Marketplace's prime rib. Check this out. You talk about a pregame meal, or if you've been cheering on your favorite team, the Marketplace and prime rib will really cap your night off. So the next time you're out catching some great football, don't forget the Marketplace Grill before or after the game. And don't forget, next Saturday night, we'll be right back here with more hard-hitting high school highlights next Saturday and every Saturday night throughout the football season right here on Hooten's Arkansas Football.
You've been watching Arkansas's most watched sports show, Hooten's Arkansas Football.